10 years ago, if someone asked me to play a major 7 chord, I would not have been able to. But how was I able to go from not being able to play to being able to play? And the simple answer is hard work and consistency. You see, a lot of people will say, wow, you're so talented. Wow, you're so lucky. And the truth of the matter is, learning an instrument is not an easy task. You first have to learn your instrument, and then you have to learn the style that you want to play on the instrument. And I noticed that a lot of people are actually not willing to put in the amount of work it takes to get to where they want to be, rather than looking outside of yourself, as in looking at how well someone else is playing, etc., etc. We tend to forget to actually look inside of ourselves. We always want to look outside of ourselves. I noticed that a lot of people, through experience in teaching, etc., I noticed that people are always trying to find the next video to watch about how I can get better, or looking for a teacher, or this, that, and the other, rather than focusing what you already know and getting better at doing that. Some of the material that I have grappled with and still am grappling with are things that I learned probably like 7 or 8 years ago. I graduated my undergrad jazz studies in 2017, and some of those things that I was working on then, started working on back then, are things that I am still learning to do well. Of course, it's way better now. What I actually wish someone told me before I started jazz piano is the fact that you need to be silent, stay away from the outside noise, because it's so easy to open Instagram or whatever, YouTube, and see how someone else is playing. But what actually matters is to be silent. I think that's something that I learned from a very, very young age, is to be silent and actually focus on what you're doing. Another thing I also noticed is that a lot of people will say that they want to learn piano, but they'll book a lesson or two and then I never see them again. Or they say that they're too busy to learn an instrument. Learning an instrument, as I said, is not easy, but it's like, do you really want it? Learning an instrument, your voice, whatever it is that you do, it takes years of practice. It's almost like you have to be one with what you're doing. You want to practice it so much to a point where you don't actually think about it. Where you can actually just express what it is that you're playing. But being able to do that, you have to do all of the technical stuff, understand all of the harmonic stuff, and that's not easy. That takes a lot of hard work and consistency. As I made a video about, I think, years ago or a year and a half about I wish I learned this at jazz school, which you can check out. You know, if you want to get started, I've made so many videos about where to start with jazz piano, etc., etc. And that video comes with a booklet, which is literally a beginner's pocket guide, if you will, a digital booklet for you on how to get started. Because if I make any more videos about how to get started on jazz piano, I might turn blue in the face. So check out that video and check out that booklet if you really want to get started. There's so many resources online, but I also noticed that people will get good advice and they will see that it's good advice, but then they won't do it. I don't know what that is about, but if you really want to play and learn how to play, as I was saying earlier in the video, if you asked me to play a major 7 chord, I would not have been able to do that 10 years ago because I had zero knowledge of harmony. But I spent the time because I really wanted it. And that's why I'm saying maybe you don't want it enough. Maybe you don't want it enough. Maybe you just like the idea of being able to play. It really is about hard work. And you have to be consistent. You don't have to practice 8 hours, 6, even 2 hours. But if you have an hour and a half, are you able to do that maybe 3 to 4 times a week consistently? You will see progress. And as it relates to jazz, which is what I've been studying for the past 10 years, as well as what I have been dedicating this channel to, again, I have tons of videos of where to get started, what to do once you get started, how to practice. I mean, I've got a practice guide booklet as well. What to do once you kind of have a good foundation, how to build what you practice so that you start to begin to grow and sound better. My booklets includes things like transcribed material from jazz artists, licks, voicings by jazz artists like Bud Powell, Sonny Clark, McCoy Tyner, etc. And when you look at those booklets, you can take some of those voicings and some of those licks and incorporate them in your playing. But then again, there's so much information, so many people making videos. It's really up to you whether you want to get better or not, whether you want to be a better player. Something I wish someone told me before I started learning piano or just being in music in general is to be consistent. And whatever that looks like for you is what that looks like for you. But don't stop. You know what I mean? And secondly is to silence the noise, not to focus on the hype and whatever is happening around you, but to sort of put your head down. Have no thought about how long it's going to take, but to just continue practicing what you're working on. Third thing is that don't always be looking for the next thing to make you better, but equally spend more time mastering the tools, the musical tools that you already know. Focus on making those better, and the next thing will lead to the next naturally. If you practice, you will have something else that you want to check out, but don't be so fixated on what should I be checking out. But if you check out what you're working on now, that thing will lead you to the next and to the next and to the next. And you will slowly see things start to come together, start to make sense. And when those things start to make sense, it will lead you to the next thing. And next thing you know, you're playing in a way that you never knew you could. But you have to start now. And the most important thing is, again, hard work and consistency.